Okay, so from this episode of Boku no Hero Academia, episode 12, we see so many stuff. This is what I love about this series. How, like, even in one episode or one chapter, if you read the manga, so a lot is contained, like, a lot is packed in, and I'm thinking, like, wow, I've got so much to talk about, and I'm so excited. I think from the get go, I have to get this off my chest right now because this is my favorite scene from the episode, and it's right at the start, and it's I think it rehashes from what happened obviously last week in the last episode, and it's when All Might's like, I've used up everything within me, you're next. And what my favorite moment is actually Deku's reaction, and I just have to give props to the animators, to the studio, the way that they just animated Deku in that scene and how he's crying and he's like rubbing it off. I'm just like, that really did touch me. I feel like it was so real, and I was just really blown away by how great the animation was for that scene, how great the style, the drawing, and whatever you may call it, that it was just phenomenal. I thought that was really great. But yeah, this episode was really jokes, to be honest. Like, there were so many troll moments. Like, All Might has to be the biggest troll ever. How are you gonna be running and like you're getting Deku's hopes up, and then you come in and just punch him? Like, that actually made me laugh with the scene and like the soundtrack in the background. You thought it was gonna be some like hug, like they're running like father son kind of moment, but I was like, no, he comes and gives him the right hook. Texas smash. Like, that was so hilarious. And like one of the other funnier moments was when Deku, he runs away and then he comes back straight afterwards and just like, well, that was anticlimactic in its like in its most form. In its most form, that doesn't even make sense. But like, you get what I mean. Like, that was kind of hilarious as well. But other than that, like, this episode was just great. I think what was kind of, if I had to, what's the word? Like, give a title to this episode. Well, I'm giving a title to the video, of course. But like, if I had to like basically say what this episode was about, it was really the end of an era. Like, All Might's end is really finished, and this is what I love about it. But it's kind of what I hate about it the same way. I have never actually put this into words, but it's the whole fact of All Might and the whole thing of how like this series, like All Might is the core pinnacle. Like, he is Superman. He is the Superman of this series. Like, what you see in All Might is the top of the top, the greatest of the greatest. And it's kind of interesting of how Horikoshi starts a series. He introduces a character, and this character is larger than life. Like, he's an idol. He is practically Superman. In its truest sense as well, because yeah, he was inspired by American comics, so that's why All Might is all like that. He's like, he symbolizes like the Western, like, American comics of what a superhero should be. So yeah, like Horikoshi, at the start of the series, he introduces a character such as All Might. We get a little bit of backstory on him, but we don't focus to his character. You'd think that he'd be the protagonist of a series such as this, but no, he's like the sensei. He's the not the forerunner. What would be the opposite of the forerunner? He was the previous forerunner, you can say. Yeah, he was the previous forerunner. Like, yeah, what All Might symbolizes is the previous generation. So it's really interesting how, like, even though for example, this fight when All Might was fighting All For One, they were talking about the past and all that kind of stuff, and in my reaction was like, we don't know this past. Like, we're getting it from them. What we're knowing, what they're saying, that's what we're getting. So it's really interesting how Horikoshi has framed it in such a way, in the sense of how this is really like a coming of age story focusing on Deku, but we're seeing All Might. He's such a larger than life character, but he's so grounded. So we see that All Might's had a life. He's already lived his life. Like, he's already had his heroics. He's already done all of this kind of stuff, bish bash bosh. But it hasn't been documented for our eyes. And like, part of me is like, I want to see this. So like, I remember when I was even talking about the manga when this fight was going on, I was always saying like, let's get the flashback story, let's see how they fought 6 years ago. Like, that's all I wanted to see. But the more and more as the story progresses and how we don't get that, I'm not as annoyed, because it's like, that's not what it's meant for. Like, he's had his time. The series is not to showcase All Might, it's actually to showcase Deku. So I kind of thought that was kind of interesting to say. But like, yeah, it's really interesting because that's why it really is the end of an era that we didn't know, an era that we weren't a part of, which is kind of cool. It's different. It's something that I'm not I wouldn't say not used to, but it's something that is not always in like the typical shonen kind of jump kind of thing. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, in other shonen jump series, there are the awesome senseis in that, but like it's not framed like how All Might has been framed. All Might has really been framed as like, yeah, he is the not only the top of the top, but he's like the core of this series as well. So yeah, I kind of wanted to put that out there. But other than that, yeah, this episode was pretty awesome. We got a little bit of more information on Shigaraki and the whole fact, one, that he's progressing as a villain, and how like it seemed to be an advantage that All For One left him, because now that All For One's left him, Shigaraki's got anger, he's got frustration and hatred to kind of work with. But we know that Shigaraki's also progressing. Every time he gets knocked back down, he gets up again. It's kind of like the phrase, knock off one head, two shall grow back. That's like Shigaraki. Like he fails and he comes back stronger. And we've seen that continuing. The way that he's speaking, the way that he talks about his comrades, he no longer speaks along analogies of it being a game. He doesn't talk about that anymore. He's now focusing on the real big picture of society, on how everything that he's doing is to make society's trust in heroes crumble. So I really did like that touch. And yeah, I love Shigaraki. Like that after credit scene. If you did not watch the after credit scene, watch it. Has Marvel Films not told you anything? Stay after the credits, and especially with this episode, like it was crazy. If you guys didn't see it, quickly go back and watch it. But yeah, let's talk about it now, because we see a couple of scenes with All For One, and he's just talking, and it's just so crazy, because he's saying like, All Might, although I lost, you lost as well, in the sense that he should have taken that opportunity to die, because now he is now becoming so dependable towards Deku that now how is Deku going to become independent of him? And although there is some truth to that, I think it's false, because we see in this episode Deku is going against the norm. Deku's not just following All Might blindly. We see in this episode, and even All Might himself realizes it. All Might says something on the lines of, to think that you were just following me, or he said something like that, because it was in the line when Deku said, it's okay, we don't have to go to UA, let's go to another school, nevertheless I'll still become a hero. So in that point in time when Deku said that, we understood that, okay, this guy's not just walking in All Might's footsteps, he's actually carving something of his own. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I think I wrote it down here, something, what did I say? Yeah, I said two things. One about Shimura Nana. She was never the symbol of peace, and I just felt like I had to say this, because she was different, very different into what All Might has done. All Might in his truest sense was a pioneer. In the last episode, All Might kept, in the flashbacks as him as a, not a child, as a teenager, as a young adult, he said he wants to be the symbol. The reason why crime hasn't dropped is because society hasn't had something that they can place their trust in and confidence, and also the villains haven't had something where they can be afraid of. There's no deterrent, basically. And that's what All Might decided to become. Before that, it was just heroes, they were going about and fighting villains kind of thing. That's how it was before. All Might was the first symbol of peace. However, there were some risks in the sense of what Shimura Nana did. Shimura Nana gave up her family, and I feel like, yeah, Shimura Nana's life was one of sacrifices. And All Might's career was one of bloodshed. And we see in this episode, All Might says, I don't want Deku to go down the same way. So just as All Might was a pioneer from Shimura Nana's path, so shall Deku be as well. I believe, I said this from the manga, and I'll say it again, I believe that in the future, we know that Deku's probably going to be the number one. He says it in this first episode, like, spoiler alert, but he says it. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think that's going to happen. I don't think that there's going to be one symbol. What it said in this episode as well, they said, the organization, or, these people at the start of the episode, they said, this was our fault for placing our trust in one person. The need is arising for multiple symbols. The need is arising for multiple pillars. And I believe it's going to be loads of people. I believe like Bakugo, Todoroki, like these people that we're seeing in Class A, some from Class B as well. These people are going to be multiple pillars. Like I think there's going to be, maybe we're going to see a lot of groups in the future. Maybe we're going to see a lot of teams, hero teams. How cool would it be if like Uraraka, Uraraka, Froggy, No, Suyu. I'm confusing myself because I'm saying their hero names and then for some of them I'm saying their real names. So my mind's a little bit all over the place. So like how cool would it be if we see like Suyu, Uraraka, Momo, like we see them being hero teams and that team is a pillar. And then we see Deku obviously being a pillar, but also Bakugo's a pillar, Todoroki's a pillar, and so forth. You catch my drift, right? So like this is what I think it is. I think Deku, like this next generation of heroes are gonna pioneer something different. All Might's path was awesome. He started something, but you know, as it continues, something else is gonna yeah, different things are gonna happen. That's what I think. Yeah. Why couldn't I just somewhere? I don't know. I don't know why that was funny, but yeah, things are gonna happen basically. Like, it's not just gonna follow the trend. It's not just gonna be Deku's not gonna be the only symbol of peace, in my opinion. And we see it now as well. Like, Endeavor is now the next number one, but he doesn't want to take it like this. He's not the one. He does. He's kind of seeing this as like a pity kind of thing. Like, oh, it's like he's kind of being subbed in. You get what I mean? Like he's being subbed in. Like he's not getting the number one because of his efforts. He's getting the number one because All Might can't be it anymore. Basically, it's not a testament to his power and to his efforts of climbing up to that place. So obviously that's going to trigger him. It's going to trigger the man. And it's going to be interesting to see how he combats that and goes about that. But yeah, to you manga readers, this is not a spoiler. But isn't it interesting how like what's obviously going on in the manga is kind of similar to what's going on in the anime as well? Thought to kind of drop that in as well. So yeah, let me drop that there. But what else did I write? I thought which was pretty cool. Oh yeah, Deku's mum. Like, yeah, so grounded, so grounded. In the sense of how she wants Deku to become a hero, but like she can't neglect her own feelings of how she is afraid of her son. I remember at the start of the series, there was a quite a strong theory. I haven't seen it being spoken about recently, but it was the theory of how when Deku was a kid, All Might's mum was much slimmer, and now obviously as he's grown up, we see that Deku's mother has gained weight. Now, it can't be of the reason. Oh, she's gained weight because of Deku being doing all these heroics. Because no, even before Deku had a quirk, she's gained weight. So it must be of the I'm thinking it's on multiple factors. I'm thinking it's like anxiety. There's a theory. Yeah, there is the theory that she has like an eating disorder. Due to her being unbelievably anxious for Deku. It makes sense. See the way that she interacts with Deku. And this could be true due to, I think if it's true, let's say it's true. Yeah, let's say it's true, then I think it could be one of the reasons is Deku's been quirkless for so long. The first episode, Deku's crying and like she's just like, oh, I'm sorry, it's my fault kind of thing. So let's say that's a factor. Deku's been quirkless for so long so she is so heavily anxious that, oh, my son's dream can never come true. Like he's gonna be forever isolated. He's forever gonna see himself as a failure in his own eyes. Let's say it's that, and then when he was getting his quirk, and when she's been seeing him televised and going and just gaining horrendous injuries, that's just snowballed. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. Horikoshi likes to draw attention to these certain things. He likes to hint at these things, not always state the obvious, but let us as the readers, let us as the watchers kind of fabricate not in the sense fabricate these lies, but think upon these characters, therefore making us more connected to them, in my opinion. That's what I think. But yeah, nevertheless, she's so grounded in the sense that, yeah, she doesn't want Deku to continue going. How can you not blame her? Like, see what your son is doing. So yeah, I really did think that was just so touching. I think if she didn't react in such a way, it would have just seemed fake. So yeah, I hope that this continues to go on. I don't want it to be like, okay, now that this has been addressed, I don't want it to be like it's never been spoken of again, because yeah, Deku says at the end, I don't want to make you worry anymore. So I want to see how this goes. This is obviously something to develop. No, this is obviously something which continually needs to be addressed, in my opinion. Because yeah, this is something within the mother-son relationship. I don't know where my brain's at today, but stay with me, guys, please. So yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna all talk about. There was obviously a lot of other stuff. There was some kind of funny moments between the parents and the kids, seeing them like Bakugou's mum and all that kind of stuff. But I thought these were the most important ones that I wanted to kind of address and just talk about. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. The kids are moving into a dorms. It's basically gonna be like boarding school. Obviously from their point of view, that's gonna be freaking awesome. Like you're gonna be with your kid, you're gonna be with your friends 24/7. You're gonna have your own room and all that kind of stuff. You're gonna be on the grounds. How awesome is that? So guys, please tell me your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked anything I'd say, please drop a like. That would be greatly appreciated. If you're new to my channel, check it out. Make yourself at home and subscribe. This is Shinning every time. Peace out, guys. Goodbye, and I'll see you next week for that Boku no Hero episode. And the chapter if you're reading the manga as well. See ya.